Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you? How are you doing? Thanks for watching Get Rich 101. And I'm your host. I'm Sacred Writes. I am an author of several books, but this is the most important, the most important. Hack your pain now. Hack your pain. You know what? I'm going to give this book some movement. I'm going to give this book some movement. So, what kind of movement can I give it? Please write a review. If you've gotten the book, you've read good things about it, write a review on Amazon. Just go to Amazon, go to where you bought the book, just write a review. Just write a review. I was listening to someone this weekend talk about the difference between having a few reviews and having a lot of reviews. Having a lot of reviews lets people know that this is a good book. So please, 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 if you haven't already, please write a review for Hack Your Pain Now. Hack Your Pain Now, because it's still very relevant. Still very relevant. All right. All right. Shout out to New Thought Media Network for allowing me the space and the opportunity to grow, to grow, to grow. And yeah. And thanks so much for being here. Oh, and quick reminder, I am not a financial advisor, but I want you to take what I give you and add. You see that tail? You see that tail? That was Nelson getting down, getting down. Anyway, so what was I saying? Oh yeah, so take what I say with a grain of salt, and then live with it. Just live with it. Speaking of which, I need to get down into this, right? So first of all, let me just explain why I was absent yesterday. I was absent yesterday because I needed the day. I needed the day to really think about the show. Like I wasn't too tired to do the show. I was tired, but I wasn't too tired to do the show. And I just sat and I had to think. I had to think. And this is what I've come up with. This is what I've come up with. What I've come up with is that this show, Get Rich 101, needs to revert now to 101. Needs to revert now to 101 because I've let it get far afield, and now I need to get it back to 101 because I heard some things from some of the people who watch the show regularly, and I heard them talking about money, and it's very different than what I would expect given you watch this show. And so there's some disconnect happening. There's some disconnect happening between me giving you these words and you saying, "All right, yeah, yeah, yeah," give me all rights, but then you going and doing your own thing in terms of money. And so I'm trying to close the gap. Trying to close the gap. So here we go. Here we go. I hope this works. I hope this works. So first of all, let's take it back a little bit. Let's take it back to Netflix. Netflix is something everybody has. Well, mostly everybody has. Everyone has some streaming device of some kind. But this is what we got. The Perfect Couple. The Perfect Couple. It is a easy show for anybody to watch. It's it's there's no disclaimers for anyone, I don't think. No, I think this is great. This is a great show, right? It's about Nantucket, which is why I tuned into it because I was curious about what Nantucket was. So Nantucket is an island just off the coast of the island of Martha's Vineyard. So both of those are islands off the Cape. Cape by the Cape I mean Cape Cod. So well, Cape Cod is off of Boston. So so anyway, Cape Cod is where you go for the summer. If you live in the Boston area, and then you take a shuttle off off to Nantucket or to Martha's Vineyard, right? Now, I just heard of Nantucket. I just heard of it because of my memory. I'm sure I've heard it before. Maybe I've even been there before. I don't know. But I was interested in The Perfect Couple. Now, this is what I want to say about The Perfect Couple. What I want to say about it is that it shows properly some things about money. It shows some things about money properly. So let me see. Yeah, I'm just going to jump in. I'm just going to jump in. So the main woman is getting married to the main guy, right? She's a normal person. Normal person has a nice job, doing what she loves, and she runs into this guy, and this guy falls in love with her, and then he's now they're getting married. This is everything that happens before the wedding, right? And what happens? Well, there's a murder, so you have to keep that in mind. There's a murder, but it's off camera. Anyway, what happens is mm, I'm just gonna have to give away the spoilers. You know, watch it if you will, but I'm gonna have to give away the spoilers. So she falls in love, well, in like with one of the other groomsmen, not the groom who she's supposed to be marrying, but the groomsman. All right, now she falls in love with the groomsman, but the thing about it though is she falls in love with the groomsman because 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 she thinks that the groomsman has the same amount of money as she does. Now you've got to understand this. This is real. This is real because what we do in life is we get attracted to the idea of dating someone with lots of money, right? But then when it happens, we're like, oh, right? We get like something happens inside of us. Whereas she got exposed to all this wealth. House been in their generations for 5 generations, right? Like there's all kinds of coup coup de grace, all these things that remind her, wow, they got so much money, they got so much money, they got so much money, right? And because of that, she does not feel herself on par, right? She doesn't feel like she should feel, and she starts trying to get away out of the wedding. It's like trying to get away, but she does not recognize that that's what's happening. What's happening is her 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 mental equivalency is not the same as the equivalency of the people that she's on tier with, who she's on deck with, right? And she can't make that leap. She can't make that leap, and she's hanging out with this boy because she thought that he was had her because she thought that he had a similar level of money, right? And so she just made assumptions. And then when she found out that he wasn't money was when she found out that he was also a man with lots of money, she was like, "What? I thought you were," and she goes in this thing. And he said, "Oh, I never said that. Like, what made you think that? I never said that." Right? He was just living his life, right? But she made the assumption that he was living at her life zone, right? And this is very important. It's very important because I'm going to say it again. What happens? What happens when we get around people with money? We get around situations with money. All our insecurities come up. All of our insecurities come up, and we say, "Oh no, 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 no," and that's the wrong thing to do. You've got to catch yourself and open yourself up to the money. And you got to do it constantly. You got to do it consciously. constantly, because otherwise you're gonna mess it up. You're gonna mess it up. All right. So that's Perfect Couple. I'm sure I'll say some more about this as we move on. But let me see what this other one I wanted wanted to push out. Also, I'm checking my Netflix. Also checking uh Ozarks. Ozark. Ozark, right? Ozark. We've all seen Ozark. We've all seen Ozark. Ozark is the bomb, right? It's a great show. It's a great show. Right? It's about, well, I don't know if I want to give it away. But regardless of that, I'm gonna give you another one. I'm gonna give you another one. So in Ozark, the opening of the show, after some long trailer about money, there's a once the show opens, he comes to the fact that he is a financial advisor. He is a financial advisor. You hear me? He is a financial advisor. Now, how many of us saw Ozark and missed that entirely? I missed it entirely. I missed it entirely. See, because when you're not looking for something, when your mind is not open to it, it just goes over it. But when you open your reticular activating system, right? What did I have? I had the word for that. I can't remember now. But when you open your reticular activating system, and then it becomes aware. You become aware of it. You become aware of it. So as soon I was doing something in the house, and as soon as they said what they said about money, I was like, what? Money advisor, financial advisor? And because that's now a part of my life, having a financial advisor is now part of my life, right? And so it popped up on my reticular activating system, tuned into the show. I can't tell you how many times I've seen Ozarks. I've seen Ozarks plenty of times. Never noticed it. Never noticed it, right? And so that's important too. So that's more about your articulated activating system. But this is what the point I'm telling you, how I'm relating this to what's the name of the show? To The Perfect Couple. See, that's what happens, right? You stay at a certain level because you have not been exposed to it, right? You haven't been exposed to all these wonderful things regarding money, right? And now you're like, right? You're like, this is something about it doesn't feel right to you. You start finding excuses for how to get out, right? Like Ozark. Ozark, like, is a perfect example of how I missed it, how I missed the fact they are a financial advisor. All the times I've seen the show, I've missed it entirely, entirely. And so I've had to open myself up by exposure, by having a financial advisor, having that and having that open me up so much so that I noticed it in Ozark for the first time. So you put me in that perfect couple thing, and then if I'm the lady, I can see more elements of what he's doing because I've now been exposed to some high tempo things. Some high tempo. Yeah, I guess I'll go with high tempo, but you know what I mean. Like things that are explicit, are nice, are fantastic, because you've got to be exposed to some of those things before you can accept them. Right? So there's two. And as a third one, I'm looking at another one, another one. I'm not going. I'm going to leave that one for tomorrow. But I think it's important, though. It is important that you need to understand that I'm talking to you. You, whoever you are, I'm talking to you because it happens to the best of us. It happens to me. It happens to everybody. Like like I was just saying, Ozark. I've watched Ozark a million times, and I've never ever noticed what they did for a living. The main character is a financial advisor. He is a financial advisor, and so that's that's incredible. That because I've now gotten a financial advisor in my life, that it showed up on the screen. It showed up to me. Showed up to me. So yeah, that's a that's it. But is that it though? Uh, no, that's not really it. That's not really it. I'm gonna try to get one more in there. I'm gonna try to get one more in there. You've got to you've got to not watch other people's. Oh, did, did my did my movie freeze? Oh no! Oh no! I think I'm frozen. Okay, I guess that was the Lord's way of telling me to end it right there. End it right there. So, thank you for all my visitors that are watching the show from wherever you are, and you're tuning into the show right now. And I hope you got that. I hope you got that because it's important. It's important. You got to regulate yourself. You've got to regulate yourself, and you've got to be open to money. You've got to be open to money, and don't be like trying to police them. Don't try to police the person with the money. Do not do that. Oh, be open to the person with the money. Be open to okay, what's going on? What's happening with this person? But be open to it. Be open to it. Just be like, oh, okay, all right, this is what this is. Okay, this is what this is. But don't try to police it. Don't try to police it because then you're messing things up. You got right. Anyway, so I think that's it in terms of. I mean, I think I'm gonna. Well, I'm not sure what happened with the TV, but in case it happens again, I'm gonna say my goodbyes now and just go for it. So anyway, let me read the comments. Oh, Fee, Fee King, Fee King sparked it up. Fee King sparked it up. Ooh, my fiance from well, I'm gonna say Baltimore, even though she's not quite in Baltimore. All right, let's see. Um, yes, I agree that we tend to shrink on people with money. Yeah, yeah, we do, and we do it automatically. We do it automatically without any thinking of it. Like we're not doing it on purpose. We're not doing it on purpose. We're not trying to be against anyone, right? We're not trying to dull anyone's shine, right? We're not doing anything on purpose. But what happens is our limited exposure of money is small. And if we act out of that smallness, we start making the bigness small. And you're bringing the big abundance down like this. You need to let that abundance grow, but to let it grow, you need to go like this, right? And then it grows, grows, grows. So, man, yeah. So that's it essentially. What I want to do for the show is I want to talk about these really simple things. These really simple things because, as I said, I've heard some people talking about the show and well, talking about money, separate from the show, and there's some switch that's happening. People watching the show is like, hey, that's great, and then switching channels and going to money and doing something completely different in money. So let me get this. Let me hit this one time. You must, you must, you must set aside 10%. Now I've said that before. I've said that lots of times before, but I've let it get washed away. So I'm saying this now clearly. You must set aside 10%. Now that means 10% of everything. Everything. Every time someone hands you money, every time someone hands you money, you need to subtract 10%. If I gave you $10, you know, so something happened, I owe you $10, I give you $10, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the situation is. I'm giving you something, right? $10, you automatically think that's $9. That's $9. And take that one and stick it somewhere. Stick it somewhere, right? You need to just set it aside. Set aside. On all things. If someone's paying you back, doesn't matter. Set aside. Someone's giving you money, doesn't matter. Set aside. Someone's paying you payroll, doesn't matter. Set aside. 10% of everything. 10% of everything. 10% of everything. You have to set it aside. You need to be. You got to be vigilant about it. You got to be vigilant about it. As soon as you get the money, set it aside. Set it aside, right? And you gotta be strong about it because it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard, especially in the beginning. It's gonna be so hard. It's gonna be so hard. So hard. Trust me. Trust me. For me, and I still mess up. And I still mess up, mind you. I still mess up. But I'm reminding you to set aside 10% every time. Every time. Because, whew, man, the difference between you not putting that money aside and you putting that money aside is huge. It is a huge number. Like, it doesn't matter what you've got to do it. You've got to do it. You got to do it. You got to do it every time, every time, every time, right? And forget about it. Forget about it. Just put the money away, forget about it. Put the money away, forget about it. But I'm telling you, no matter how small the amount is, even if somebody's giving you $10, take $1. Take $1 and set aside. Take $1, set aside. Set aside. Set aside. Then pay your bills. Then pay everything else that has to be paid after you set aside 10%. I'm telling you, you got to do it. You got to do it. So I'm emphasizing this because folks aren't doing it. Folks aren't doing it. So you got to do it. You got to do it. Don't just like talk about it. Be about it. Set aside that 10%. Set aside that 10%. And you know, as I said, I mess up sometimes too. But more often than not, I set aside that 10%. Set aside that 10%, and it grows and it grows and it grows. So I hope I've hit this hard enough, but I'm going to keep on hitting this hard. I'm going to keep on hitting this hard because it needs to be talked about. Like you gotta get it. You gotta get it, and you've got to watch it happen. You got to watch it happen because when it happens, when it finally happens for you, oh man. But that trying to get started is hard. Trying to get started is hard. it's hard. But once you get to it, once you get that 10% set aside, to the side, 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 then you grow. Then you grow. All right. Okay. All right. I hope uh oh you left a message. Yeah, I talked to Bygrave yesterday. So we good. I sent you a text message this morning, Fee. Yeah. So actually I sent it to you yesterday, but I resent it today. So but yeah, it's nice to find out some new ways of doing things with the financial advisor, and find out new things. Like, okay, oh, you can do that. Oh, you do that. Oh, that's cool. So that's good to know. And I talked to someone else about putting them onto my financial advisor last night, and I was like, "What? Have you seen the show?" She's like, "Nope, I didn't hear about the show, but I heard about the financial advisor. What's the deal?" And so I gave her his name, too. So I'm helping them grow. Well, helping them grow. I'm helping us grow. I'm helping us grow by bringing our money to this man. To this man. All right. Okay. So let's see. Let me just say. You're back. Persistence. Yes. Yes. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. All right. So let me read the affirmation. Here's the affirmation. Oh, here it is. Let's do this together and close out the show this way. I'm so happy and grateful to be a multi-millionaire in every area of my life. I'm so happy and grateful to be a multi-millionaire in every area of my life. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Don't forget that now is better than perfect. Do not forget to to set aside your 10% off the top. Off the top. You take that 10% off the top. You put it somewhere. Just put it somewhere. Just put it somewhere for now. But take that 10% off the top. Oh, wait a minute. What's that quote? On average, I think most Americans could not raise $400 for an emergency. They didn't have $400 to give to throw down. Didn't have $400. So what your first goal is to get $400 saved by setting aside 10%. By setting 10% off the top, off the top. Your goal is to get $400. All right, off the top, $400. All right, let's go. Let's go. All right, folks. Remember that now is better than perfect, and just remember that. Just remember that, and remember what I'm telling you about the money and how it's different, and how you've got to expand yourself, and you've got to be open to the way money people are doing things, so that you can grow with them. All right, Ashe. All right, I'll see you guys mañana.